Woo!
Welcome to IQ's session number
69, I think.
69.
We're almost at 70. That's a PB.
How to be Unshakeable Part 3.
Uno, dos, tres.
That's 3 for those of you that don't know Spanish.
Or, no, that's it. That's only 3. Anyway.
Tres.
Anyway, let's get onto it really quickly, Sheridan. Today we're going to talk about the one thing that changes everything.
Ooh.
And it's you can't deny it. When you look at it all, it is the one factor in your life which has an overflowing effect into everything else directly. Everything else you can do in life can lead to a point, but generally while you're chasing something else is sacrificed in the process of going down that endeavor. And one of the ones that you can work on obviously has an overflow effect into all these other different pieces of your life. Is a nice way to put it. So the easiest way to start with this one here, and we've talked about this before in FBFM because we're big believers in it, is you have to take a pulse check of your current self and your current body at the current moment. And you're going to analyze where you are directly at this point. And you'll see what I mean in a second when you analyze each of these 4 areas. I've done them slightly different this time. I've done them into family, your career, finances, and then I've also done health. Another one you can tack on there is spiritual, if you've got a spiritual sort of connection that you're chasing and stuff like that. But those 4 typically are your avenues that you need to take a regular snapshot on where you're at, or a pulse check, as Sheridan and I like to call them. And all a pulse check is just checking in where you're at right now, not where you were in the past. It's like right now, current situation, because it gives a lot of explanation as to why maybe you're feeling certain ways, or maybe why your family's not quite where you thought it would be, and you just haven't been able to pay attention to it. But by taking a snapshot and ranking them from 1 to 10, 10 meaning amazing, 1 meaning catastrophically crap, you would go like on that spectrum, you're able to get an idea of where you're at and where you need to probably apply a bit more attention. And so we're going to look at the first one, which is family. First of all, when you do this one here, you're meant to strip down in the nud, get naked, sit on a chair, pull up a mirror, sit in front of you while you're naked, sitting there, so you can analyze your health and what you're seeing, how you feel when you see that. The other one, you flip open the laptop, you bring open your bank account, you check if it's where it needs to be, if you're happy with where that one is. Your family, you just have a picture of your family up there, and you can just check in to see where you're at on that level. And then the other one is your career. And obviously that one is a bit trickier to do, but it's pretty easy to ask yourself, do I love what I do, or do I hate what I do? And when you analyze these things here on a 1 to 10 scale, you'll find that where you're allocating some time, or maybe you've got this amazing career that you're chasing, but it's at the sacrifice of time with your family. So your family time is low, and maybe your bank account looks good, but you're overweight. And maybe like there's all these things you're trying to achieve that we hear this all the time, which is this almighty work-life balance. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later on. You're ideally, if you have an even stream of balance across all those things, you're going to have a lot more happiness. Do you say that's fair?
Yeah.
Easy.
I'd say you're on the money.
I am on the money.
Because we've only just started.
Yep.
And
I'm smashing out the park. Easy. So basically, when you analyze, like I said, the reason you get nude and you do that in front of a mirror is because most people are uncomfortable doing that because they don't like physically what they actually see in front of them. So that's a good place to start. If your health, by what you aesthetically look at, you're not happy at, it creates a conflict internally for you that you don't feel like you deserve to look that way, or the way that you look is affecting the way you behave or what you wear to cover yourself up. So by doing that snapshot and getting raw and real and actually saying, where is my health at? Am I happy with how I look? Am I happy with my fitness? Am I happy with my strength? Am I happy with all these different avenues? And you start analyzing that one element, you'll find that you'll get a scale of 1 to 10, you put the number to it, but it's the one thing that you can control. This is the answer to the question. The one thing that changes everything is your health. That has a direct overflow into all those other elements of your life. So if you have a great family, you can still be overweight, which means that you don't feel good about yourself. You have poor self-respect for yourself. You can't be fit. You can't do the things you want to do. So again, having a great family doesn't improve your health. It can actually make it detrimental because you're spending too much time with your family, maybe connecting with them. You can have an amazing career, but you could be sacrificing your family to get the career that you want, which means you might have a great bank account. You could have a great career, but if you have poor health again on top of that, what's the point? Because you're spending all your money fixing your health, or you're spending all your money trying to please your family. So the balance is all wrong. But when you get to health, and you actually look at the health aspect, if you actually invest your time, your energy, and your money into health, it has an overflow effect, because when you look at yourself and you feel better and you have better fitness and you have better strength and you have the ability to go do things more often, you feel better about yourself, which means that your energy increases, your confidence increases, which then flows into your workplace. And your workplace means that you're more your productivity is higher, which means you're able to apply yourself more, which means you're able to give more, which in return gets you more money. More money in the bank account is one of those avenues that you may want to improve, which allows you the ability to be able to do that. Maybe even the ability to be able to do a side hustle, which allows you to create more money because you have more energy from the health being higher and getting that balance right. Then on the flip side, having all that energy, being able to apply it to the workplace, increase the bank account, be present when you're at home with your family, all stems from health. The other ones don't affect everything. So health is the one that flows into all those avenues of life. And it's the one thing that generally gets put to the side as soon as something bad happens, like a lockdown or a circumstance in the family happens, like little Timmy's not feeling well. Your health goes out the window to look after little Timmy's health. You got to remember, you always have to look after your health non-negotiably. Sometimes it's going to be done like we're about to do tonight. We've got a workout we have to get done. It's going to be a bit later than we would like to have done it, but we're going to get it done late. It just has to be that way because of our poor planning and what we had done in the day. So, and that's just something we have to take on the chin. Do you have anything to add there, Sheridan?
I do actually. There's a really great quote by the Dalai Lama that kind of sums all of this up really nicely. The Dalai Lama, when asked what surprised him most about humanity, he answered, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. The result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die and then dies having never really lived.
Oh, love it. Yeah, Mr. Lama is pretty good.
The DL knows what it's about.
Yeah, he does. He's got it going on, that fella. Easy. So if we, based on what Mr. Lama just said there, is pretty cool if you think about it. And it's so true because we don't appreciate, I think people forget to appreciate what they actually have and they take it a lot for granted, which over time leads to depression and all those things that creep in because you don't feel good about yourself. And as much as people try to say that it's okay to do that and it's okay to love your body and all that sort of stuff there. Yes, it's okay to love your body.
Healthy at any weight.
Healthy at any weight. But the reality is that that's band-aiding what actually, how you're feeling internally. You're trying to justify that it's okay. Decisions can be made, changes can be made, health can change. It's inevitable. It's been around for all of time. We've always been able to do it. Eat less, move more. Basic concept. It works, but you have to apply energy, time, and discipline to do it. What do we lack because we've put weight on? Energy. We lack energy. We're generally out of time because we're lazy, and we lack discipline because generally it's why we're overweight, is because we haven't been disciplined enough to watch what we eat and go and do some work, go work out, because we've sacrificed one area of our life, health, to accommodate for these other ones to try and please a need that we have of ourselves and a commitment to ourselves. So again, it's a weight-based gains and stuff like that. It's through ill discipline compounded over time. And it's okay, and it's not offensive. And if you're taking offense to it, that the reason that you're taking offense to it is because you're seeing truth in it and it hurts to hear it. And it's okay to be ill disciplined. It's just admitting it, taking it on the chin, and then moving forward and making a change. But if you're not willing to make change, you're never going to have what you seek. And you're going to, of course, look for easy band-aids and lazy way out of questions and statements because you don't want to do the work. But if you applied yourself and did the work, you'd have the energy, you'd have better health, you'd be better skin. There's
a really fascinating thing when it comes to energy is that it's not just, it doesn't exist, you actually create it. So by spending, they might have heard, you got to have money to make money. Well, you've got to spend the energy to make the energy. And because where focus goes, energy flows.
100%.
If you don't put any effort there ain't going to be any there to put.
And again, we always apologize for the fitness profession. We think half of them are Muppets, and we have to take it on the chin because we're a part of that industry, and we are very sorry because they've just made it too complex and too hard to understand what's right. You've got elite athletes doing amazing things because they can invest all their time. They're extremely disciplined. They have no qualms with only eating certain foods to give them the best energy possible. Then you have the average Joe Blow trying to do what they do, which is extreme because that's their lifestyle. It's what they do, and they have the ability to do it. So then they go and thinking that's the only way to do it. You can only do keto as life. You can only do this. You can do that. So everyone gets confused on what's right and wrong because we're watching the big jacked up dude on TV who looks amazing, but he also has 24 hours a day to dedicate to his health. Okay, so you can't compare yourself and your situation to that situation. So because the industry has made it so complex and so hard, in its rawest form, it's actually very simple. It's that simple philosophy we used before, which was eat less, move more. That's the basic fundamentals of losing weight, getting fitter, getting stronger. It's the simplest way to put it. There's no more complex way other than that. It is that. The other thing, when you break it down further, if you look into the three things I believe, or we believe, that makes up health and fitness, is there's nutrition, there's physical, and there's mental. Those three pillars make up what is, when we say your health, those are them. Okay. Now, if you break down nutrition, the basic fundamentals is really simple. It's been around for years, hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is probably Uber Eats has come in and made things very convenient to have it brought to your door. So we got lazy again. It's ill-disciplined because it's quick, it's easy, it's fast. Same thing, quick, same fast. Anyway.
Well done.
But the first one is eat more fruit and vegetables. Pretty simple. The minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, all those sort of things there all come from eating fruit and vegetables. Now, you don't have to eat all of them. We don't like all of them. So
we don't like kale.
No, we don't. We're very advocates for not liking that thing. So it's terrible. Ambassadors
for not liking kale.
We could start a page. There probably is a page.
There probably is.
Okay, cool. Now, the reason we say you don't have to eat all the fruit, because you only need to eat the fruit and vegetables, that you like to eat, not what Sheridan and Matt like to eat, not what the big jacked up dude's eating, not the kale loving people. It's what you love to eat. Those are the vegetables. And this is one of the challenges I think a lot of parents have, is they force vegetables into their kids, and the kids don't want that particular vegetable. So you need to include them in this process so they learn the value of vegetables, but eating the vegetables they like to eat. If they like potato and that's the only thing they like to eat for a while, great, they're having potato.
Vitamin C, baby.
Yeah,
we love
get
taties.
in there. So allow them to have those things that they like.
We even sing songs about taties. Taties. We like the taties.
We really do. So basically, you want them to be a part of the process so that they can choose the direction that they're heading in. And over time, your taste buds change. If someone introduces it to you, you try it, oh, I actually like that. And all of a sudden, you're eating it again. So their vegetable and fruit intake will change as they age. So you don't have to be anal. Oh, they're not eating the broccoli, the superfood, or the kale, or the whatever. They just eat what they want when they want to eat it. But don't give them the processed stuff. Give them the nice, healthy fruit and veg from the ground.
Because just because one food might be a superfood for one person doesn't mean it's a superfood for every person. Because a lot of us have intolerances and things like that we can't actually eat all of these things, and they make us gassy or bloated or whatever it might be. So
That is joking. Anyway, so the goal is to eat a lot more fruit and vegetables, and it basically eat more food that comes from the ground, and any natural way of sourcing possibly that you can do and afford and be able to eat around. It's going to be a lot more beneficial for you because of all the extras that you get from eating those foods. Again, the foods that you love, not the ones that we are telling you to eat. Correct. Which is what a lot of our industry does, is you must eat this.
If you like kale, go for it. We've left it on the shelf for you. So there's more for you to eat. Plenty
for everyone to go around. Next one is a real simple one, which is really cool when it comes to nutrition, is to shop around the outside of the supermarket. If you're doing online shopping, a bit different at the moment, but if you're actually going into the supermarket, shop around the outside, you'll find that all the produce, the meats, all the dairy and that type of stuff, which is the least touched by man as possible, is generally around the outside. Now, when I say go on the outside, they usually put on the outside of the aisles displays of chocolates and stuff like that. Doesn't mean because you walk around the outside and you can reach it by walking past it, it means take the packaged foods. We're talking about the best way possible is the food sits on the outside walls. The moment you start aisle shopping is the moment you start finding things that are touched by man, created by man. It needs to be able to last on a shelf, which means that something has to go into it to make it be able to last the duration so that it can sit on the shelf for a while and in your cupboard for a while. So they have to tamper with it to make that possible, which makes it not the best option when you can have all the benefits of the outside of the supermarket, which is really cool. Another one is eat organic where you possibly can. If you can't, don't go overboard. Don't worry about it. The reality is when you look at organic and you put them versus a typical vegetable that you buy that's not organic, the difference is the pesticides that are applied to one, not the other. The organic is raw and naturally formed, and it comes through untampered. The other ones have had pesticides because they're mass producing and they've got to try and keep it under control so they can get it. The actual carrot, if I do carrot to carrot, if one's organic and one's not, the energy properties and all the extras in it are exactly the same. There's no difference
Calories
in it.
are the same.
Calories, phytochemicals, or the minerals, oxidants, all those things are exactly the same. The only difference is that this one's had pesticides in it, which means it's a foreign toxin, which means that as it enters your body has to process that somehow, which means it has to expend energy getting rid of something that shouldn't be in the body. That's the difference between the two. One, it doesn't have to. It allows your body to process the food faster and be able to use that energy quicker and to feel better about yourself. The other one has predominantly had something, which is why they say it's not organic, on it, which means that your body will need to get rid of it, means it has to expend energy that doesn't need to be expended. Next one is drink water. Lots of water. Like Sharon said at the start, drink more water till you got clear.
Wheeze.
And the reason for that, Sharon, is?
Because we are all different sizes. So if we were to say to me to drink 2 liters and to Matt, who's significantly bigger than I am,
Almost double.
for him to drink 2 liters, there's a little bit of a glitch in the system there because I'm so much smaller than Matt. Would I really need as much water as him throughout the day? No. So a great simple to make health and fitness simple. We do an easy, simple way of telling if you've had enough water is if you've got clear wheeze.
Once you have clear wheeze, what do you do?
You can stop if you want to.
Yep, I stop. Once it's clear, I'm done.
And then when it goes yellow again, you start drinking again.
Easy. Okay, cool. So that's a nutrition column, right? So part of health is nutrition. That's how you improve it.
Yeah.
Get it better.
Oh, I just want to finish on that way. We say drink more water till you've got clear wheeze because your body is made up of about 70. It starts off being around 70% water. The more you dehydrate yourself, of course, that number's going to drop. But your body is not 70% Ribena, blueberry. What is it? What kind of juice is Ribena? Black currant. Yeah, it's not black currant. It's not orange juice. It's none of those juices. It's not Gatorade. It is water.
Yeah. Easy. Keep it clear, baby. Keep it clear. Next one's physical. So remember the 3 prongs, the 3 pillars. We go nutritional. That is how you would improve your nutrition.
Yep.
So simply put, keep it nice, fruits, vegetables, stuff on the ground, shop around the outside of the supermarket,
Yep.
keep it organic where you can,
Yep.
and drink lots of water. That's the basic raw fundamentals of that side of things. Physically, we've got to improve our strength, which a lot of you guys already do, which is fantastic. You need to apply weights to your body minimum once a week. And I would do maximum twice a week if you're emotionally attached to lifting weights. Other than that, once a week is all you're going to need to allow your muscles to be able to get stronger, allow your bones to get stronger, posturally improve yourself, your heat productivity gets better, which allows you to expend more energy to sweat, which means that you're going to burn more calories. All those things happen from improving your strength, which is nice and easy. Once a week, strength train, nice and heavy, apply mass resistance against the body, let your body repair, do it again next week. Repeat that for the rest of your life. Woohoo, strong bones, you're going to be looking pretty sharp. Next one is fitness. Increase your fitness. If you change, I want to lose fat to I want to get fit, you'll have a totally different experience and you'll enjoy it so much more because the byproduct of being fitter is that you burn fat faster. So instead of focusing on, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose the fat, I'm trying to do this, I'm going to dedicate my time to getting as fit as I possibly can for 2 reasons. One, the byproduct is I lose the extra weight. Second one is I feel better about myself because I can go and do the things I want to do because I can, not because I can't. So when someone asks, this is one of Sheridan's philosophy she lives by, someone asks her, hey, do you want to go climb a mountain doing something? She is in the position to say yes or no, depending on if she wants to, not because she can't.
I always want to be able to say yes to something. Never want to have to say no because I'm not fit enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not conditioned enough. So always being able to, my philosophy about health is being able to say yes.
100. And not just say yes, don't keep asking her to do stuff. She won't say yes to everything.
No, I will not.
Only if she wants to join you to do something.
Even Matt tries to get me to do things that I won't do.
That's true. She won't let me pick her nose.
Like exercise wise.
Exercise.
He tries to sign me up for like 70k runs and stuff. No, I don't want to do that.
You'll be better for it.
I'm sure I could, but I don't want to.
The next one in physical is the way you look. Like we said before, you'll have an impression of yourself by what you see. And when we start the 8-week challenges and we do those sorts of things, we get people to take the first photo. And that's usually an emotional commitment for someone to go and look at it because they have to sit there and be raw and real and see what they've probably been covering up for a long period of time.
We're in winter at the moment. It's easy to cover up. Let's strip it back. Let's get it out.
And get raw, get real. And if you feel uncomfortable with what you see, that's the challenge in it, is that you need to start learning to love your body And that comes from making changes. You can't keep covering it up and expecting a different result every time. It's not like what's something you'd unveil?
Like
Pass the parcel.
Superman. Superman does that.
He does. Wow.
That was my Superman
Yeah, it's
impression.
good. Easy. And the next one on the physical one is after look is the way you feel. So emotionally, how you feel by what you see, which is kind of ties in what I said there. The last one is mental. The last pillar is the mental, which comes down to your health. Now, this one here, I believe, is affected by the first two. Typically 9 times out of 10. Generally, when you see someone who may be going through some kind of mental health, be it anxiety, depression, or something like that, they're typically doing a couple of things in this current climate that we're in. They're currently medications to deal with it. Again, that's taking energy to do that, to use that. And the other one is generally 9 times out of 10, the person's overweight. Again, and so seeing what they see when they take that photo, that's an impression how they rate themselves. So if they feel like they don't like what they see, that creates an emotion of sad. Okay, which if you're feeling depressed and anxious and all that sort of stuff there, it stacks, right? And so you just start feeling shit about yourself. You think, what's the deal? What's the point? If your partner's not touching you, you start questioning whether that sort of thing, like all these things factor into that feeling, which you should never feel because you can make a change. So mental health is another thing that is affected directly by the first two, nutritional and physical. When that balance is right, they have a positive effect. Again, it rolls into everything on your mental health just by applying those things. I'm not saying that it fixes everything in that mental health column. What I am saying is it's giving you the best chance, much like the organic versus the other one, it's giving you the best chance possible to get it into your system quicker to get you through that period of maybe relying on the medication as big as you can.
Because the quality of the food that you put into your body, the quality of the fuel, helps your body naturally produce the hormones that it needs to produce and the chemicals that it needs to produce. There's a lot of science that links the gut to the brain, and the gut and the brain connection is also both of the areas where your dopamine are created and all your feel-good hormones and things like that. Now, exercise also does this too. So both good food and good exercise is a trigger to make you have good mental health. So if you're ticking both of those boxes well and consistently, that's probably one of the things that we miss the most is the consistency of it.
Agreed.
Doing it regularly then gives you a much, much, much higher chance of not having those mental health challenges like depression, anxiety, and all of those other things, for sure.
And if you make the connection, if you actually look at it, take out the medication, all that sort of stuff there. When someone is anxious or they're depressed, they're generally sad, right? Or they're nervous or they're worried or they're fearful or something like that. And we know that when your body goes into that state, it's an increase in cortisol that happens inside your body.
That's the stress hormone.
It's because you're freaking out, right? But what if you took out all the advertising and marketing at the moment that says that take the pill and do this sort of stuff to deal with the feelings, it's okay to not be okay. All that stuff adds to the situation. So it's easier to take a pill. It's easier to agree with someone, it is okay to be okay, not be okay, all that sort of stuff there. Those are the easy ways to do stuff. The hard way is cortisol is an increase in energy, and it's from way back in the day, the saber-tooth running away, fighting the tiger days, where you were asked to physically fight, or get the hell out of there and run, or fight or flight. It's giving you energy to be burnt. The challenge is we don't burn it. We get lazy and we mask it.
Breathe.
Think
positive thoughts. Sit there and relax.
So we're stacking.
Self-care.
And that stuff is okay to do, but you have to burn the energy first. That there's nothing wrong with what Sheridan said, but in the moment of the anxiety and all that sort of stuff there, you have to physically move to create a chemical change to then be able to apply that side of things that Sheridan was talking about. But until you get your hormones and everything in check, you can't deal with stuff because you're worried. Everything's exaggerated when you're in that state. So you have to learn to burn it off and correct the balance of everything before you approach those things. That's why when people go in and they talk to counselors and stuff like that, every counselor, every psychologist should have a bloody treadmill or a bike in the waiting room, and they have to do 1 kilometer before they can come in the door, or a 10-second sprint before they're allowed to walk in. Learn to come in a better state to allow you to address things in a better situation. Again, it's not going to fix everything. It's going to allow you to see everything for what it is, not worse than it is, to allow you to be able to deal with that situation properly. So that's a big one there, which is really cool. So we're going to go wrap it up now. We're going to bring it home. We're going to talk about how do you get the almighty work-life balance that you hear out there everywhere. And it's a bit of a buzzword in all the cultures of the workplace and stuff like that. So how do you actually do it? How do you get balance between work, life, family, your health, and what have I got at the bottom of there?
Spiritual.
And your spiritual one, if you've got that in your life at the moment. So how do you create that? It's easier. You take a pisser. All right. Now, I made this acronym because it worked well and it made sense to say take a pisser. Yeah. You need a plan. It's really important to plan your week, your life, your everything. You've got to be scheduled. Otherwise, things get in the way, which derail you, which makes you have a shit day. So the other day, last night, I got caught out. I didn't plan my day right. I got back. I had a run to do and I didn't do my run, which meant that I ended up sitting on the couch. And what did we have last night? Chocolate. So I sabotaged myself because I did not plan my day properly. So you have to plan. That's the P in pisser. It's coming for you, right? Ready? You have to include, when you're planning, all those in your family, kids, wives, partners, whatever it is in your circle. You have to include them because their lives affect your lives and they're a part of your balance. So you need to know what their obligations are. So you need to know that if your wife is taking the kids to there and you've got to be over here, you need to know all that stuff to get the balance with your family right. So you have to include them. That's the I in pisser.
The logistics.
Okay, cool. Then you have to schedule, is the next one, is the S. You have to schedule time in all avenues of those things so you allocate dedicated time. Now, work's an easy one because you're obligated to do set hours. You don't have to apply any time to those because it's already done for you. Your family, you have to apply time. You can't just wing it when you get home and sit on the couch and watch TV and go, oh, I'm hanging with the fam. You have to give dedicated present time to allow them to see that you're here for them and not thinking about work on the TV. You have to dedicate time. It doesn't have to be much. It's just like the dogs spell love, T-I-M-E. It's the same as families. They just want to spend time together and have a laugh and do something a bit out of the ordinary past the television. Your wealth, you need to spend some time making sure that you're making decisions, make sure everything's spent. So if you're out at work and you keep buying lunch all the time, is that the best way to invest in your wealth? Or use your wealth on your health? Most likely not, because usually when you're out and about, you're probably eating something that's on the fly. You'll pick something out that maybe not the best choice for you, like we said before, with the nutritional options. So plan your lunches more and apply them into your daily intake to allow you to not spend so much money on external foods, which allows your wealth to grow. Again, it's an easy way to do it. So we've got plan, include, and schedule. Then you have to take action on that plan, which is the next one, which is the A, and then the R is reflect. So there's your pisser. Take a pisser. Pretty cool, huh? Reflect is the big one. You need to reflect at the end of the week, come together as a family and go, what worked, what didn't. And you're not going to nail it every week, and that's okay. But you're going to try to be as best as you possibly can, because at the moment, most people out there are neglecting multiple areas, especially their health. That should be one of the first ones you look at, is like, how do we make sure our health is on point this week? How do we include the kids in these decisions? How do we make sure that they're choosing the vegetables that they want to eat? How do we make sure that we're eating lots of vegetables and fruit and not taking the packaged food? A good place to start is get rid of all the packaged food out of your fridge, out of your cupboards. If your kids are going to the cupboard and grabbing snacks out of there and it's opening and stuff like that, it's got to go. It's a terrible habit, because you compound that over the next 15, 20 years. Their habits are worse than your habits now, because probably when you were growing up, you didn't even have that sort of food an option. Right. Just because you can provide it for them now and it's easy and you want them to have more than what you had, you still need to teach them the value of reaching for fruit and vegetables over packaged foods. And it's easier to do packaged foods. Again, a Band-Aid approach. Just grab something out of the cupboard, feed yourself. I'll get something on the way to work, we'll swing in and we'll grab something. Don't be lazy, plan for it. Like, be aware that if I'm heading in this direction, I've got to pick up the kids. I need them to have a snack. They're getting carrots today. They're getting apples. They're getting something. Like, make them have these things so that all they know by the time they leave school is the benefits of having those far outweigh the benefits of having empty calories from the packet.
One thing that I think is also really brilliant, because health is at the center of all. If your health is on point, it flows into every other area of your life. One thing that I really want to commend Erin Cartwright for doing is that she starts off her day with a 4-minute workout, so that she knows at least if her day goes to shit and she doesn't get her workout that she's planned in the evening, at least she's done 4 minutes. Beautiful. What a great way to start the day. So at least you've got that there's a box ticked there. It might not be the almighty workout that you wanted to get done and the big exercise routine that you wanted to do, but at least if shit does hit the fan, you have at least ticked that box.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. 4 minutes.
Boom.
Get up 4 minutes earlier.
Smart. That's it. Only 4 minutes. You do 2 minutes to start, 2 minutes, and then you still take 4 minutes.
Yep.
It would still work, but as long as you apply that 4 minutes properly, give it everything you got, because it is only 4 minutes. Last thing to finish on after you've done that. So you have your work-life balance, you take a pisser, and then after you've done the reflecting at the end of it, it's really simple. You go one more better the next week. One thing better that you didn't do this week, you do next week. And you just compound efforts on efforts on efforts. And the lessons for your family by bringing them together around the table to plan your week together is huge, because all they know when they leave school is, I need to make sure I'm planned. I need to make sure I'm scheduled. Otherwise, I could turn into a fat, overweight, depressed person because my habits have been poorly instilled leading through my school years. And instead of leaving it up to them to figure it out at the other end, let's push it on them and let them be a part of the decision-making process together, and then let the family come up, go, cool, this is our week. It may look hectic when you put it all on paper, but the reality is that was the week that was coming your way, and now you have to work around it. And to make that look better, you have to be just better planned to make the work flow better, the week flow better. But it all starts with your health. That's the big one. It's the one thing, like Sheridan was just saying, that flows into every other aspect of your life. And it has a direct correlation of improvement in all of them if you apply yourself with them. But if you don't work on your health and you only focus on one or two of those other things, your health will always be affected, which means that your depression kicks in, your anxiety kicks in, you're overweight, you don't feel good about yourself. So you lose out anyway. So what's the point of having all these things?
Spiral.
It's just, it's almost like you're chasing your tail the whole time. So we want to make sure that you guys can do it. And it starts with your health. It's super simple. Eat more fruit and vegetables, eat organic where you can, shop around the outside of the supermarket, drink lots of water. Then when you're doing physical stuff, weight train once a week, huffy puff every day. Every day, make sure it happens, so that when you look in the mirror and you do your next pulse check, you feel better about what you see.
Yep.
And you don't have to feel depressed and anxiety. And if you're on medication, our dream is for you to get off those things. Never feel like you have to use that stuff. The tools are all inside us. We're blessed and given everything we need to deal with stuff. The challenges, we got really lazy, we got uneducated, we haven't been able to do it, and we've fallen into the depression. And the easy way to get through stuff at the moment is to take a pill. And it's not the right option, because if you have to rely on something to determine whether you're happy or can get through life, and it's not in your control, that's not a good thing to go down that road, because you don't want other people to be in control of your happiness. And someone prescribing a pill for you, or a potion or a lotion or something like that to determine whether you're happy or not, is not going to make you happy. Easy. That end. Finished.
Celebrate the wins.
All right. Did that all on one A4 of notes.
That's pretty impressive.
I normally have 20.
You usually do. Again, thank you guys so much for investing time into you, into your mental health, and into just making sure you're growing, which is incredible.
Yeah. Take a pisser.
Take a pisser. I'm not sure that one's going to catch on.
I
don't know. I wonder if we can rework that.
I'm going to take a pisser. It's very Australian.
But thank you guys so much. Please reach out if there's any way that we can help you, or if there's any topic you would like us to discuss and share our knowledge and wisdom on through all of the things that we've read. The reason why we have this kind of knowledge is because we do a lot of reading, and we a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of books. We've got a massive bookcase. So we love to learn from people that are incredible throughout the world and throughout history. But we encourage you to read, to feed your mind, or listen to it, or watch it, whatever works for you. But thank you guys so much. Have a sensational evening, or whenever you're listening to this. And we will see you for the next one, number 70 next week.
Woo-hoo. Cheers, ladies.
Ciao for now.